Good morning and welcome to Sitara with me, Njeri Ngige. It is the most absurd thing for me to keep saying good morning, right? But it actually puts a smile on your face no matter what time of day it is. For me right now, it's 5:45 and it's after work and an amazing day that I've had. How has your week been since the last time we were together? What was your week like? What was your weekend like? So for me, this week, one of the twins just annoyed me. Like seriously, he cried for 45 minutes straight, for nothing. And yeah, I say for nothing because he was not hungry, he was not wet. Like we've just come from showering. The other was just sitting there watching him, like, okay, so it's your turn to do what people would call foolishness. Then went to church, had an amazing Sunday, then came back home, had chips for lunch. Of course, don't all children love chips? You wonder why. Finger foods, probably. Who knows? So, come home, we all took a nap. Isn't that what Sundays is for? So he wakes up and then goes into another whole 45-minute wail. This is not snickering, this is not whimpering, this is just screaming. Cried for, another 45 minutes. My nanny came. Praise Jesus. Because even her, she was like, "Mulikuwa mnafanyana nini? What were you doing to each other?" I'm just like, I have no clue. So that was my weekend. My week went by quite interestingly. A lot of activity, like physical activity for me. Not gym per se, but that we'll discuss a bit later. But how has your week been? Please comment and let me know how your week has been. If you have my number, WhatsApp me. If you have, inbox is always open, comment section is always open. I'd really love to know how your week has been and how has your journaling been. It's been a week. I'm really excited at hearing from most of you people because one, everyone I've spoken to is like, oh my God, I'd have to dust off my journal and really just write out stuff. And that is the whole point of this. Like when you see things written, when you see your life on paper, you see and experience yourself differently. And as I said, I do journal prompts on my Instagram, which will be put down here or up here or somewhere here on your screen. And or just follow me at the Njeri Ngige and follow the journal prompts. There's also a highlight on it there. I think I'll put it on the Facebook page as well so that you can always have time to go through and just see. There's a lot of content. This is what I mean. If you sit down and write it down, you will see how much is inside you and how much content you own. You just need to be prompted. So, carry your drink of choice and let's go to part 2.
A few moments later.
I said drink of choice, right? I'm on water. So let's recap. So what we did last week was reasons for journaling. One of the top ones was accountability. You might not have an accountability partner, but there are intimate things that you might have gone through and that you can just put it on paper so that you can see and remember, wow, hasn't God been good? Haven't I been through the most? And actually I'm here. So it's worth celebrating. Then we went into our list. It's what I call a listicle. I might actually just put it together into a cute infographic. I know who to disturb with that. So the list of 6 is, what was the wisest decision that I made in 2022? What was the biggest lesson? What was the biggest risk I took? What was the biggest surprise? What was the most important thing that I did for other people? And what is the biggest thing that I completed? If you're not able to see mine, go to this other video over here and see what mine were for that. So today we're going to our next list of 6, and then we'll also see another list of 3s. So 6 and then 3. Okay, let's get to it. So, my first 2022 list of 6. Number 1, what are you most proud of? I think I told you guys in the other video about my work in 2022. It was quite a pivotal year for me, career-wise, and for me it was work. I finally came to the realization that I was good at what I did, and because I met people and I did things that made me move from head knowledge to heart knowledge of my worth and of the value that I add and the value that I bring to the table, not just in all my allies, but also my allies spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and socially. So for me in my career, I learned that I was good at what I did and I had evidence. In digital, you can't lie. So I opened last year a PowerPoint presentation, and that's where I loaded everything I did in the last 12 months. And I was like, wow, my English name, you did well. So I was very proud of my work in that manner. I was also proud of how my patience grew. I really grew in patience because there was an incident of someone calling me a nasty name, and I'll talk about this in just a few steps ahead. And I had so many opportunities and so many times and seasons to just go for them in a manner that I will also put you down, but I did not. I was a bigger person. Sometimes I'm very petty, but this one I just decided I will Michelle Obama, you go higher. But I wanted to dwell a little bit more on the head knowledge versus heart knowledge. So in the Bible, when my heart and my head started speaking the same language, I was reminded of the Tower of Babel in the Bible. And this was is it Genesis? Yes, it should be in Genesis, where people came together and they spoke the same language and they were like, let's build a tower and go up to heaven. And, it didn't surprise God. God was just looking at them. And they started to build. Actually, when you read it properly, they actually started to build this tower. And as they was building, God was like, wait, excuse these people. They will actually achieve this because they believed in themselves and they believed they could. That's the power of belief. And that's where I was like, congruence happened and I began to believe in myself. And at this point, career-wise, I'm not sure of course, there's always new information and the digital world keeps moving, but I believe in myself, in my capabilities, and that is enough for me. So therefore, my 2023, I might just shift some things around. Watch this space. #kujiamini. Okay, number 2. I know I'm talking so much and I really, 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 really need to go faster. So the next one is, now let's go to the list of 3s. Sawa. Who are the 3 people who influenced you? Who are the 3 people who influenced you? By influencing you, this took me quite a bit to write out because I was thinking, I was influenced by influencer X to get this product. I was influenced by person X to get this product. Influencing has become such a commercially used word, whereas it could be something that can really transform your lives. So I know that influencers out there who really turn your lives around and who can actually push you and propel you to become a better person. But these 3 people subconsciously, okay, actually no, they didn't even subconsciously. I think two of them know me, and they didn't even know that they've influenced my 2022 this much. So I probably think this video will be among the things that will be like, Allah. So one of them, and these are how I chose these women. I decided that I wanted the Titus 2. Titus is in the Bible. Titus 2, 3 to 5. This is what is called the Titus woman. I wanted the Bible says that older women should teach the younger women in how to revere, in how to love their husbands, make a home. But for me at this point, I really wanted older women who I could walk the journey of life with. These are people who not only would mentor me forward, but also reverse. Like the women younger than me who would actually mentor me to become a different person, a more tech savvy person, or whatever it is that I needed, and they don't know consciously that they're doing. So these three women who I chose are great at their work, because I wanted to be great at my work, great with their children, and also I wanted to be great in all my allies, my spiritual, social, psychological. Count it out with me. Okay. So I really prayed for a community. My last 2 years, a lot of female community fizzled out, of course, because of COVID. And then I was focusing on parenting, and I was not as intentional with those relationships as I was to become a better mom and a great worker, because we need money, to buy diapers and formula. So the first person is Crystal Evans Hurst. This is Priscilla Shire's sister. If you are in the gospel spiritual circles, Christian circles, you might probably know this movie for praying. Christ. The praying movie. That's where Priscilla Shire is from. So just Google Crystal Evans. You can listen to Priscilla, who's the sister, who's fantastic. But the sister really helped my life in 2022. And I actually really listened to her a lot because she's a teacher, she's a life coach, she's a homeschooling mom to how many children? I think she has 4 or 5 children. And she's a grandma as well. And she has a team of people who help her execute her life purpose. She is busy, y'all. She's busy, and she travels to speak and pray and help people. And she still has an active podcast. I'd really send you her way. She's called Crystal Evans Hurst. I'll also find her Sister Circle. Yeah, that's what it's called. The Sister Circle. That's her podcast. So please go there, find her. She has amazing content, and she really, really, really inspired me in my parenting journey and in my journey that I am able. Yes, the movie by Priscilla Shire is called War Room. Yeah. So she said something in that, because remember when I started, I said that I felt like I lost a lot of female community, and she said the same thing. I think that's where I felt connected to her. And she said, it's because she is a connector to people. Like, I connect person X and person Y. Oops. They become friends, and then they go ahead with their lives, and then they forget there used to be Njeri and Ngige, and they forget there used to be Crystal. So, and I am very similar to that. There are groups of people who I facilitated their meeting, and they're fantastic friends, and I'm no longer walking my journey in life with them. And I'm still happy for them, and I'm still happy for that. And hence, I am a connector, and she taught me that. So, Crystal Evans Hurst, I'll put her information here or in the description box, so you can follow her if you want. Number 2 is Miss Lydia B. Mason. This lady, I met her only briefly in my career, and she really transformed my way of thinking. She transformed my way of working. She transformed my belief in myself, and helped me realize that above all, my family must win. So she really helped me be clear on what I bring to the table, on what I need to take from this assignment, and what it is that, and the relationships that I am taking forward from this organization and from this, relationship that I have with my employer. Absolutely blessing, absolute blessing. And the third person is Jane Wanjao. I told her this because the last day of 2022, she posted consistently a Swahili word of positive impact and positive influence. Every day she posted. Whether I trained, I'm not sure if she was sick or not. Whatever it is she was going through, she posted on her WhatsApp status a Swahili word daily. I was so impressed. I was so inspired. And that's actually what bore the journal prompts. Because I was like, what does it cost me? Really? 10 minutes of my life, which is actually taken out from my, the journal prompts, and most of them are taken out from my quiet time with God. And I was like, it doesn't. It actually just helps me to share. And that is, she taught me consistency will win. So that's why I'm doing all that I'm doing, staying active, etc. So that I got from Jane. So those are my 3 people who influenced me. The third one is, who are the 3 people who you influenced? Who are the 3 people that I influenced? This was difficult. Even when I was preparing for this was really hard for me. So I wrote, apart from my children, like I'm reading verbatim, apart from my children, I'm not sure if I influenced you in any way. If I influenced you in any way, please reach out to me and let me know how I influenced your life, positively or negatively. I did something, right? This, I'm quite critical of myself, quite critical of myself. I see the extended log in my eye and not specks in other people, and I'm quite trusting. So, next, what were you not able to accomplish? Let me tell you, if these things do not shake you to the core and make you look at yourself, not just critically, but also to be able to shape your 2023 and your life moving forward. Again, because we said journaling helps you stay accountable to yourself. So for me, as I set out to read 6 books in 2022, I only managed to read 4, but I read so many children's books over and over and over. So I think that counts. But I hadn't, actually that's the funny thing, I hadn't set out on reading children's books to my children and read it over and over, because we've taught them Wilbur Yo-Yo 100 times. So kind of counts, I guess. But I'm really proud that at least I did 4 books. And all these 4 books I did in like my first quarter. So I was like, okay, just because I was really excited and was rallying to go. Woo! So happy. I also wanted to do a play last year. Just get back into theater, get back into the groove of things. That didn't happen. Am I sad about it? Well, it wasn't a must, but it would have been nice. What did you learn about yourself in 2022? I learned I am a fantastic procrastinator. Fantastic. I will find an excuse. If I don't want, I will find an excuse. Like 2022 was a year you could not make me do anything I did not want to do. That was my year. So I guess I was consistent. But I really wanted to clean eat last year because it helped me in another lifetime, and I failed very well. I really failed well. I wanted to get back into active blogging, YouTubing, podcasting, and 2023, January 17th, here we are. We thank God for these times and seasons, right? But I learned something about myself that I am actively changing in 2023.